And then, I know earlier you said a lot of us are wishing 5/7 of our life away. Like,
I certainly did.
yes, and a lot of us do that.
Yeah.
So, what are your suggestions there that you tell your clients when they're in that state of mind?
So first of all, I don't suggest anything. Why?
Hmm.
Because I don't know your life.
Hmm.
You are the expert in your life, not me, right? If I give you a template of my of the life you should live, then I'm basically telling you how to live my life, which is, well, dumb in the extreme. So I wouldn't tell them what to do, but I will tell them what kinds of things to do. There's a big difference, right?
Hmm.
So to simplify to the simplest place is build your strengths to the point where your weaknesses are irrelevant,
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
Sometimes you have to face a weakness just because it gets in the way of what you want to achieve, and that's totally fine. But you see, in the self-improvement field as a whole, there's a huge dilemma that most people don't either acknowledge or even know is there, right? The
Hmm.
very premise of self-improvement has a fatal flaw, and the flaw is you're not good enough as you are right now. Things aren't good enough as they are right now. And I understand that when you're depressed and life is hard and you're wishing 5/7 away, it seems like life is not good enough. But what you've also done is you've taken all the good in your life and you've minimized it. You've
Right.
forgotten that it exists. So if all your good can fill up a little thimble full and all the bad things you're focusing on looks like it's a bucket or a swimming pool full, by contrast, your life looks horrible. Make sense?
Hmm. Yeah.
But if you really think about it, I mean, take your life as it is now. Would you say your life is like 10 out of 10 perfect?
No, absolutely not.
Perfect. And I'm going to hopefully change your mind in the next 5 minutes. Is that okay?
Hmm.
All right. Imagine this. You get accused of a horrifying crime you did not commit. You get put
Hmm.
away. You get put in jail, and you're now surrounded by mean, vicious people who make it their mission in life to break you, to make you cry every night, to make you feel afraid, right? And you're living that every day. You are looking over your shoulder every 10 seconds. Can you imagine that kind of lifestyle? Not a fun place to be in, right?
Correct. Hmm.
And you have to do this day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And then one day, your lawyer comes through for you, right?
Hmm.
It gets up the Court of Appeal, whatever it is, you're released, you're free. You're walking out of that environment and right back into this life you have right now. What is it now?
I still wouldn't say it's
And
perfect.
where would you put it now? Like before you went into the prison, where would you put it? 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 8 out of 10?
Yeah, probably about a 6 out of 10.
Perfect. After
Hmm.
you get released from prison, exact same life, where would you put it?
About an 8 out of 10.
Nothing's changed.
Hmm.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. Your
Right.
life has a potential to be amazing as it is right now. So the problem
Hmm.
is not the life that you're leading, is the stories that your mind is focusing on as you're
Right.
leading this life. And the stories are, if they emphasize the bad and diminish the good, it gives you an upside down life. And that to me is a guaranteed path to depression. Because who wants to live a life of misery? Right?
Right. Correct.
But when you put your life in perspective, when you realize that it really is an 8 out of 10. Is there room for improvement? Of course there is. But
Hmm.
let's start from a point where it's actually working. It's not broken life. Your life is working. Build on the things that are working, make them work better for you. And then that 8
Right.
becomes a 9. That 9 becomes a 9.5. And so what if you never reach a 10? I think an 8, 9, 10, and 9.5 life, those are all amazing lives. Are you with me? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
Hmm.
my job as a hypnotherapist is primarily to, shall we say, drain the pus out of the wounds, the emotions that have been stored up, so that prevents people from seeing clearly. And
Correct.
then take a clear look at life, right? The good and the bad, right?
Hmm.
When you can look at the bad like an opportunity, you look at the good and go, wow, I'm really grateful for that. You will have a good life, regardless of where you start from. You could be homeless on the streets and still go, wow, life is going to turn around now. I know something can happen here. And then you engage what I think is one of the most powerful forces in the universe, and that's human ingenuity. And look at what
Hmm.
mankind has built when their mind, our collective mindset, was pulled in one direction. It's amazing what we can do, right? I think, look, we're not the strongest animal, we're not the fastest animal, we're not the toughest animal. The only thing that elevates us from all the other animals possibly is the opposable thumb, gives us use of tools, but really it's this thing in here, right?
Hmm.
We can outthink any other animal we've ever encountered. We can solve problems with amazing ingenuity. So my job as a hypnotherapist essentially is to awaken that inner genius and say, how would you solve this problem? Because I can't.
Right.
And then I am blown away in the way that people fix their own lives. Once
Absolutely.
that genius has been activated. Does that kind of make sense?
Yes, it does. It actually makes a lot of sense as soon as you said that. So you're bringing out what's already inside of them.
That's exactly it.
Okay. That's
I don't need to
it.
add anything, right? I just need to believe that you have everything you need to live a glorious life. And then we just have to investigate, where do we find that? How do we turn it on? How do we put it in the driver's seat? Let's imagine that inside of us, we have two individuals, right? We have the drunk, bad boy, depressive who does nothing, right? And we have the active, engaged, loving, kind person that just wants to get into life and do good things, right? Question is, who are you going to put in the driver's seat? I've seen what happens when the drunk driver is in there. I don't like my life when the drunk driver is running things, right?
Right.
I've seen that happens when the good guy is driving. I like what happens. So my job really is to put the good guy back in the driving seat and then buckle the belt up, put the other guy in the back seat and say, you shut up and just watch.
Yeah.
And see what happens. Does that make sense?
Yeah.